How dare the people complaining about this make us come out and defend a decision that EA made?
Of all companies.
I know. I'm furious about that. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you make us do this?
Now this is the one. With that first one, this is like, all right, we're dealing with the topic that's obviously controversial: school shootings, police shootings, innocent loss of life, gun control, things like that. Now, we have our good old friends over at EA who've never done anything wrong. They've never. They're the most wholesome company. Never been voted worst company to work for ever. 3 years in a row, I believe. Never, because EA is the bee's knees. They're insects' ligaments. Now, with EA. Obviously, they have multiple franchises that just love to run into the ground. Prime example, we had Mass Effect.
Yeah.
How was Mass Effect? I was about to say Mass Effect Armageddon, which is kind of what it was.
It's a more accurate name.
Yeah, Mass Effect Andromeda.
I never even played it. I just watched you play it.
Yep, and I was like, because their eyes were tired.
My face is tired.
My face is tired. But we've had EA obviously making games, multiple huge franchises for the past couple decades. Again, Madden, Mass Effect, all the litany of other ones that they have out there. But of course, one of the biggest ones, what they like to consider a rival to Call of Duty, is the Battlefield franchise. Now, Battlefield, we've gone 1 through 4 plus Hardlines or whatever the fuck it was called. And they said with Battlefield 4, Battlefield 1. That's what I keep wanting to say, like Battlefield 1. I'm thinking about Battlefield 1. But with the Battlefield franchise, it's been basically the one of the biggest things is you get out there, you're a soldier, you're out in the war, you're fighting for whatever country you represent, and the multiplayer is fun. You get to get in vehicles and airplanes and jets and all this other stuff, and you're having a ball. And for the most part, it gives you a different experience than what you get in Call of Duty. Call of Duty, it's more of a kind of a soldier of one thing. You don't really have to. If you so choose not to, you don't have to work with your team. But with Battlefield, not as extreme as Rainbow Six is, where you have to like talk every 2 seconds. With Battlefield, you kind of have to work with your team to capture the point, or take over enemy base, or all kinds of things. And people enjoy Battlefield for that. Now, I'm gonna be frank here and honest. Battlefield, as with Call of Duty and most other shooters, they're played by men.
Yeah, for the most part, yes.
For the most part. And keep in mind, I'm not, because I know we got, for a show about video games, which is 2 goofy-looking motherfuckers here, we got a lot of women viewers. Mm-hmm. We do. So shout out to you, ladies. You're the reason we exist. But with Battlefield, people don't feel the same way we do. Ladies, we love you out here, and we enjoy everything you provide for us and just existing. But a lot of these gamers out here don't appreciate you. They don't. They like to see you in the back lines. They don't want to see you on the front lines, out there doing big things, out there taking a gun in your hand, or piloting an airplane, or driving a tank, or out there with a sniper rifle or anything. You're supposed to be back there producing things. Now, with Battlefield 5 coming out soon, they decided to release a trailer 2 days ago, and people felt some type of way about this. Now, I think this is a very beautiful trailer. Keep in mind, I have the 720p version. I think you guys, if you have the opportunity to, go watch the 4K one. That shit is gorgeous. But here is a new trailer for Battlefield 5. And when we get back, we're going to talk about the controversy behind it, which I think is some of the goofiest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Fight cover!
Beautiful, lovely, so luscious.
Is the controversy that they're not showing gameplay footage, but they're trying to make it look like gameplay footage?
Bitch, I wish.
Yeah, I know, right? That should be the fucking controversy.
And keep in mind, they've done it before.
Yeah.
We've seen multiple games say, "Oh, this is the gameplay footage," and then it's not. I'm looking at you, Killzone. But with the controversy behind this, it's not the fact that they're not showing gameplay footage, or they're not showing any stuff that people want to see, like Gert said, gameplay footage. The issue is that there are women on the front line, Gertz. How dare they? How dare they put women on the front line? How dare they? Gertz, they'll attract bears, first off. They will bears bears will come out of nowhere and attack these soldiers, and that's not a good look for anybody. We're already dealing with enemy combatants. We can't deal with bears.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's goofy.
Man, like EA is making this, right?
Yes, EA of all companies is making this game.
Motherfuckers are gonna make me defend EA? What are you doing to us? Oh my god!
Yeah, their EA is putting us in a predicament. They are not letting us be happy and enjoy a game that. Keep in mind, I played Battlefield. I kind of waned off of it in the past off the past couple years, but I still get why people enjoy it. I think it's a cool, fun game. But with this new title, people are just saying, "Yo, you can't do this. You can't put women in this game. It's not fair to the men." And then it's not fair because it's not historically accurate. And we all know when we play video games, they have to be 100% historically accurate.
Right.
Yes. Now,
like Doom.
Doom's historically accurate, or like that. But no, they're saying you putting a women. I'm talking like Chris Cox.
Yeah.
You putting women in the front line is not a good look. Women weren't in the front line. They were back cooking and making tools in America to be shipped off, and they were on the back end. They weren't doing any big things. Now,
yeah,
for some of that. You're right. A lot of at that time, women were not being put, especially on in the U.S. and the British side. They were not being put in the front lines. They were usually back home doing factory stuff or other things. But there are plenty of women that were in World War II on the Soviet side that were on the front lines. You've had pilots who were doing big things. You've had women snipers out there that were doing big things. You even had women tank drivers that were out there doing like great things. So it's like, what the fuck are you mad at?
I don't appreciate you ruining my perception with your so-called reality, sir.
Well, I'm a social justice warrior. That's what it is. My SJW-ness. I have to show. These are, I doctored all these. My Photoshop skills are amazing. This is really a dude, and I just put all these beautiful women's faces, over these soldiers that were obviously driving the tanks. Like, yo, who would let women? First of all, women are dangerous on the road, so why would I put them in a tank? Like, yeah, why would I let them pilot a plane if they're like they might like their makeup might get messed up or the mascara might get in their eye and then they'll crash and kill us all. I don't want that in my game. Yeah. That's not right. But no, Battlefield for some reason has to be historically accurate.
Yeah.
And because again, like Gert said, we've had Doom and all these other things where the games have to be 100% right. All these war games where they're showing World War II and World War I and all these games that have to be historically accurate. But y'all, we've had games that pride themselves on being historically accurate. Battlefield's not one of those.
No way.
Battlefield is by and far and large not one of those. This is like, yo, this is just a fun shooter that you're supposed to be playing. Now, if we throw in characters in here that you feel or that you can connect with and imagine more in World War II, I think that says that we did a good job as developers because we did a great thing. But we have plenty of games out there that pride themselves on being historically accurate. Prime example, Assassin's Creed. They like to say, these are the Templars versus the Assassins. We're in Italy right now. You get to hang out with Machiavelli. And you go out and assassinate people and all of these things that have happened in real life while we're searching for this global dominating apple to rule all of the world and these seeds. And of course,
the enemas.
The enemas. We have to use the enemas to look at your history, all this very real history. And prime example here, we all know that Leonardo da Vinci had a flying machine, but I don't think any assassins ever used them to go around and dive bomb people and commit assassinations, but somehow Assassin's Creed, which is a game that prides itself on being historically accurate, decided to use that. I didn't see y'all motherfuckers out here being pissed off about that shit. Everybody loves Assassin's Creed 2. Nobody said, well, I love the gameplay in the game, but them throwing in Machiavelli as an assassin and Da Vinci in there and the Borgias being controlling crazy Templars, I don't vibe with that.
Yeah. Where were these history buffs then, man?
Who knows? It's because they weren't women. That's
exactly it.
That's the issue.
Yeah, of course.
It's really weird, and all of you people will like to say, this is how dare they? If you want to get World War II right, you have to show only the men in the front, and then if they want to make a factory working game or sit at home and take care of the children's game, then you can have a game that features women. Now, people, I don't think these gamers get it. And you know what? I'm very happy that we have the advent of the internet. One, without that, we would not have this show. But we got to hear from one of the developers over at EA and DICE, and he was saying, listen, and I like this. He's saying, Battlefield Sandbox has always been about playing the way you want, like attempting to flip 3 players on galloping horses with flamethrowers and a chance to have fun. Look, that's not historically accurate. Where were y'all? Where were you people that were upset about this when you were riding on a horse shooting a flamethrower, just like a fucking madman? And if you want to keep it funky, World War II and most wars are not the way you think they are. Now, in Hollywood, we've always had this perception of war is just always chaos. It's ridiculous. And I think the biggest, proponent of thinking that, or the reason why we think that, is because we've had a bunch of war movies that show just constant fighting, nothing to do, and everybody just getting eviscerated. Prime example, this movie.
The Sausage Party?
I wish. But no, people, if you're listening right now on SoundCloud, it's Saving Private Ryan. And obviously, yes, D-Day and storming of the beach, it was a bloodbath. It was not well thought of. It was not thought through well. But yes, it did lead to a bunch of soldiers and a bunch of men losing their lives on the front lines. And, maybe if there were more women out there, they could have won. I don't know. It could have been, maybe handled better. The women could have came out, listen, let's talk about this. We don't need to kill each other. But no, nowadays we see Saving Private Ryan and like to think anytime there's a war going on, or anytime there's any kind of fighting in the world, it's constantly white knuckling, people getting shot, bloodbaths, flamethrowers exploding, blood and guts everywhere. But that 100% is not the case. Yes, there are small segments in war that are like this. Yeah. But if you want to be an accurate historical buff, it's not like that. It's a lot of war is walking. Yeah. A lot of war is sitting around. A lot of war is sitting around. A lot of war is laying around. Yeah. Like you're going to spend way more time walking, taking orders, cleaning up, eating, and doing things like that, as opposed to sniping or riding around in a tank or firing guns down on people. You're going to spend a lot of time reserved and sitting on the side waiting for your orders, or walking from point A to point B, or riding in wherever you're in from point A to point B. Now, those people who want to be historically accurate, would you like a game of this? Because you can get that, and those guys are alive. I know they look like they're dead. They're sleeping. They are sleeping. But that's not like a parent. They're sleeping. They're not
only
dead.
Dreams now.
They're only dreams. But no, a lot of war is this. When I talked to my grandfather and a lot of my uncles who were in Korea and Vietnam and World War II as well. They're saying, a lot of the time it's just sitting around and we're just waiting for our orders, or we're walking to our next destination. And a lot of soldiers don't see active combat. And for you historical buffs that are losing your fucking minds about this game isn't historically accurate, nobody wants a historically accurate video game. There are plenty of games that are dedicated to that, but no one wants a 100% accurate a war game. In prime example, you have games like Civilization, which they'll take bits and pieces of, like this. If you roll with Genghis Khan, he's going to be out for blood. If you roll with any other, the Queen Elizabeth or whoever, she'll try to be a little bit diplomatic or just take everything she wants. Or if you roll with Gandhi, he wants nuclear power. But yeah, it's baffling to see people losing their fucking minds about having a historically accurate World War II game, and especially a game of all games, Battlefield. That's not what they're about. That's not what they're for. They're there to just show you, here are the fun parts. Here are the parts that you enjoy. Here's the action, the drama, the piloting of tanks, the tanks driving through a home. This is what you want. This is the action that you want. We're going to give you that. But for you to turn around and say this isn't historically accurate, I think it's fucking, first of all, you're really sexist, and I think you're being ignorant as well, because you can't, if you want a historically accurate game, you're not going to get what you want. And again, like I think, prime example, there are people out there that want historically accurate games, but majority of us don't.
Hell no. If I want history, I'll read a book.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want Book the Game.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, I love Book the Game. This is amazing. Like, prime example, I know there's plenty of Bible games out there that you've played, but you're not drubbing through all the shit where you're watching, Jesus put on the cross or all this other stuff where he's walking around teaching.
Yeah.
And prime example, movies don't show that either. They're going to show you the crucifixion, and then they're going to show you Buddy rolling back and be like, yo, the juice is back. Let's go baptize some bitches. But yeah, these games aren't meant to be historically accurate. They're meant to be fun. They're meant to be action-filled. They're meant to be, in some cases, dramatic, and in some cases, telling you a story. And most of the time, they're made-up stories. I would say 99% of the time, they're made-up stories. And that's what you want. That's the entertainment value in it. And I think for you to ask, again, for something historically accurate is just ridiculous of you.
Yeah. There was never a Private Ryan. And Saving Private Ryan, like that guy didn't exist.
Yeah,
those characters were fictional.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and I think Gertz nailed it on the head. We don't want Book the Game.
No,
we don't want. We just want to play a fun game.
And how dare the people complaining about this make us come out and defend a decision that EA made?
Of all companies.
I know. I'm furious about that. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you make us do this? That said, fuck this trailer, because that is not gameplay footage, but they're trying to make it look like it by having those little icons on the screen and shit. It's like, oh, look at you taking over this point. It's like, no, stop that shit.
No, this is real. This is real gameplay footage, guys. This is 100% real. Why would you? So you don't trust EA?
No.
You don't Sir. Sir.
What do you?
Sir, you don't trust EA?
No.
I'm sorry for y'all listening on SoundCloud. I think I just burst your eardrums with those high pitched sirs. Sir. But yeah, it's ridiculous, and I think me personally, I'm happy to see badass chicks in video games. And there's some social justice warrior out there watching right now. Is like, how dare you call us chicks? Chill. I say dudes and chicks. Shut up. It's Anita Sarkis, and I know you watching. But I think it's about time we see some badass women in war games. We saw one in the last Battlefield game, and now we have another one. And on top of that, she's handicapped. She's missing a hand.
She got a hook for her.
I'm about to say she's a hooker. But no, y'all get what I'm saying. But yeah, I think it's about time that we get some cool women in video games in the forefront or in the front line of video games, because yes, we have had that before, and whether you want to admit it or not, in life. And while yes, they may not have been in the forefront on the British side or the American side, they were certainly out there flexing hard in the Soviet Union. Yeah. And let's not forget that a lot of the reasons why wars are won is because there are women that are the crux of everything going on behind the scenes. We've seen movies. What was the movie that you saw where it was the lady that put together the whole documentary about what was going on in the World War?
Oh,
Their Finest?
Yeah, the Dunkirk movie.
Yeah.
I mean, that was fictional, but I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, it showed a side of war that a lot of people don't account for. Like, women are literally half of our planet.
Yeah,
if not more. So let's,
and they live longer than us. There's reasons.
Yeah. So let's not pretend that women are not involved in war. It's like, yeah, women are totally get involved in war efforts. They, like Rosie the Riveter was a thing. I mean,
yeah,
it's so even if it I guess. Even if it is not as historically accurate as you wish it were, who cares?
Yeah,
it's also a little bit more historically accurate probably than you thought, given the thing that you just showed. I didn't know that they had women fighting in tanks and snipers in the Soviet Union. I had no idea that was true. But
Soviets like, we need everybody to fight this. We ain't trying to lose this shit. And the Soviets lost the most people in World War II.
Yeah. That said, even though I didn't know that, my first thought seeing this trailer is like, what are they doing with a woman in there?
Dare they? The Bears. No one's thinking of the Bears.
Yeah. You should complain about how this trailer is deliberately misleading with the footage.
And I'm reading some right now in the chat.
Yeah.
And this is coming from Todd.
Yeah.
And Todd saying, actually, that is gameplay. Say plenty of reporters from Giant Bomb, IGN, etc. said they saw a 3-hour press event and that was the game. This is one of the new war stories, I believe, switching from cinematic to gameplay.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Okay,
I'll take Todd at his word, I guess. Even though I don't know you, sorry, Todd. But I've been duped many a time by shit like this.
Yes, we have battle scars.
Yeah.
We have World War II flashback. Oh God, women.
I mean, it might be something like God of War did. Like God of War did a really good job of integrating cinematics with gameplay with no cuts. It just kind of flowed and made it all feel seamless. Maybe it's something like that.
Yeah, and again, you're making us defend fucking EA.
Yeah, stop doing it.
God damn you bastards! You're making us do too much defending of EA. If they did it like that, yo, kudos to them.
Yeah.
This is me first time seeing this, and I was just like, yo, that's dope. And I saw it, I was like, if that was gameplay, that was a seamless transition.
Yes, it was.
But it was so seamless, and we've been hurt before, not only by EA but other people showing off things at E3 and other events to where. Yeah, it's a bit of an issue. So, yeah, keep in mind, we're still going to be wary. But it does look like a beautiful game with beautiful men and women in it on the front lines. And it looks cinematic, and it looks like it's going to be a nice change of pace. And I think anybody that's losing their mind about women being in this game and being badass. And our favorite thing about this is they're not a liability. In this, you see women like kicking ass and doing more work than the men are.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, that's dope. And I don't know why with women in video games, we always try to treat them like they're frail and they don't have a mean streak, or they don't have the ability to defend themselves and exist in the same world as men, and that they need to be protected by men. We had the whole controversy with the Last of Us 2 showing that one trailer, with the woman being strung up and being saved by another woman. We've had this throughout the years of violence being propagated against women, and then people saying, oh, you can't show that. Like, well, again, women make up 50%, if not more, of this world, and they're more than able to do the same thing that men do, and sometimes better, because they think shit through, man. We don't really think shit through. I'm gonna keep it funky. Let's keep it real. There's a reason why women live longer than men.
I definitely agree with your point about that trailer, though. I like that they don't make a big scene of it either. It's like, it's a woman. It's not. That's like, no, she's just running alongside her fellow soldiers, ready to kick some ass.
Yeah, surprise vaginas.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think, yo, it's. Anybody that's getting butthurt about women being in this game or being able to play as a woman or women being on the front, you're an idiot. And I have no problem saying that. You are a fucking moron. You should be ashamed of yourself. You really should.